How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to yet another flipping video. And today I wanted to make an entry level guide for all of you guys who don't know that much about flipping and would love to join the community. Well, you have clicked on the right video. Today we're going to go over simple checking margins. I'm even going to give you a few items that you can flip and some more expensive items that I want you guys to be flipping. This is going to be not a totally in-depth guide. I am going to assume that you guys already kind of know how the Grand Exchange works and you kind of know how to margin check. So we're going to go over it really quickly, but before we do that, I just want to tell you guys, please join the Discord. Link for that is in the description of this video. We have lots and lots of people on that Discord that are extremely smart and intelligent and know a lot about flipping, and we would love to help you. So please do check it out, and if you enjoyed the video, please like it, and please think about subscribing. I have a lot of other videos that if you're new to flipping will be extremely useful and helpful for you guys. Alright, that's all I had for you. Let's get into this guide. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this beautiful, useful tool from RuneLite. It's called Flipping Utilities. This tool can show you the buying price of an item, the selling price of an item whenever you margin check. It'll tell you how much you have left on the GE limit, how many you've bought. It'll tell you your total profit if you flip the entire GE limit. It'll tell you your profit each. It'll tell you your return on investment. It'll show you how much you flipped right here. If you go here to sessions, it'll show you how much you flipped in the session. Gosh, guys, this is one of the most useful tools, and I think every person who is new to flipping should definitely have this. It can tell you by day, it can tell you by hour, it can tell you about every 4 hours. It is extremely useful, and if you guys have RuneLite and you want to get into flipping, you should definitely have this tool. All you're gonna do to download it is go to this wrench icon right here. You're gonna scroll all the way to the bottom, go into Plugin Hub. It's called Flipping Utilities. As you can see, I already have it downloaded here, but all you have to do is click that box right here. It'll say, I think, install. That's all you have to do, and it'll immediately install it for you. Now, you may have to turn it on in the bar right up here. I can't remember if it turns on itself or not, but you may have to do that. And once you click on that, it'll pop up on the sidebar for you. Once you really get down to it, all flipping is taking advantage of people who quickly want to buy an item and people who quickly want to sell an item, because we all do that at some point whenever we're playing this game. You know, all of us want to sell something really quick, or we want to buy something really quick because we're impatient. So that's what we're taking advantage of. We're taking advantage of this impatient people. And right now I'm going to show you how to do a margin check. They're super easy. Once you figure out this, you'll know the very basics of flipping. We're going to check a margin of a steel bar here. So you're going to just increase the price by 3 or 4 clicks. That'll increase it by about 10%. You're going to sell it, drop it by about 10 to 15% again. And that's simple, you see. Not a terrible margin for the steel bar. See, it tells you how much profit you can get if you flip the entire limit. It tells you the buy and the sell. If you don't want to use this, you can always just go in history and click it, and that'll tell you your most recent purchases. And as you can see right here, this is one thing I love. You just set to remaining GE limit. Instead of having to type in, you can just click right on that puppy. Now, never buy the entire GE limit, because you may have to end up price checking something later just in case that margin changes, because it does change a lot. So that's one of the only things about flipping that kind of sucks, is the margin changes a lot. But we can't control that. So just make sure you have a few left to buy. Don't buy the entire limit, just in case you do need to check that price later on. So another item that we're going to price check here is the Amulet of Fury. And obviously, the Amulet Fury is just a few GP more expensive than a steel bar. But I'd like to give you guys both examples of a more expensive item and more of a high volume, cheaper item like a steel bar, and margin checking both of them. And you do lose probably about, I don't know, we lost like 30K. We lost a decent amount margin checking this, but if you flip the entire limit, you will definitely get that 30K back. So that's kind of the downside to flipping the more expensive items, is that you do lose a lot whenever you are price checking them. next thing I want to talk to you about are high volume items. Now, high volume items are items that are traded a large amount during just the average day, average RuneScape day, whatever you want to call it. They're traded a lot. Usually they're on the list of the top 100 traded items in the Grand Exchange, and these are items that don't have the largest margins, but you're pretty much guaranteed to get some profit off of them. One of them that I showcased earlier was the steel bar. That is a high volume item. It's highly traded, and you can buy a large amount of them. You can buy over, I think the GE limit on them was 10,000. So I just want to go over with some other high volume items that you guys should introduce into your flipping regiment. So the first one's going to be the Zora scale. Have to do the Zora scale. It's one of the most traded items in the game. I don't know if it's the most. I'd have to double check it, but always do Zora scale. It'll usually have a 1 or 2 GP margin, but if it has a 2 GP margin and the GE limit's 30,000, that's 60k, and that's pretty much instant profit for you because that margin usually does not change on the Zora scales. So another item is going to be Dragon Darts. Dragon Darts are a little bit more expensive, so you do have to be careful with them because the margin does change on these. I would say pretty frequently. So if you don't have a large cash stack to work with, definitely kind of avoid the Dragon Darts. But I will tell you what you can do. You can do Rune Darts. I've had a lot of luck with Rune Darts. Rune Darts are actually one of my best flips. If you're talking about like return on investment and stuff, Rune Darts are really good. So Rune Darts, it's a 3 GP margin. I think last night it had like a 17 GP margin on them. And obviously that margin changed a little bit, but it was still really good. And I think I ended up getting like 110k on that flip. So it was a really good deal, really good margin on them. So the next thing I want you to look at is check out Addy Ore. Addy Ore is one of my favorite high volume flips. Not recently though, I will tell you that. See, it's a 17 GP margin. So that one may be worth it. Return on investment of 1.54. So we're gonna go ahead and do those. So let's do 4490. So we're not buying the entire limit just in case we need to price check them later on. Next one is going to be the Air Orbs. Air Orbs are really good. The only problem with them is the margin does change pretty frequently. So you have to be careful with the Air Orbs. If it looks too good to be true, don't even worry about it. Like 15 GP, that's getting up there, but we're gonna try them out. I'm gonna do 10,990 on them just in case I need to price check them later on. So really good. Next one that I want you guys to take a look at are Super Restores. Super Restores, they're on the more expensive side if you're talking about buying, 2,000 of them. But overall, they're really good. See, 47 GP margin, that's 94k right there. Now, the only thing I have to say about potions is the margin does change on them pretty frequently, so you have to keep an eye on the potions as well. I would say for high volume items, if they stop buying and you haven't bought one in over 2 minutes, that margin has changed and you have to go back and price check it again to see what that margin is currently, see if it's even worth to continue buying them. So that's going to be up to your discretion, but I do 2 minutes. 2 minutes is what I do for high volume items because you see how fast they're switching back to 0? It's because they're being bought. They're buying. So if it's over 2 minutes, I would definitely check that margin again because most likely it has changed. Don't forget to use your resources. Like seriously, check out the Grand Exchange's top 100 traded items. I definitely don't do feathers, but really anything else that you see on there, just practice with it. See what high volume items work best for you, and whatever works best for you, seriously, just flip it. Alright guys, we're gonna move on to a little bit more expensive items. And these are the ones where you can actually gain some fat cash stacks from flipping. It'll take you a little bit to get here to where this part will be profitable. So I would say until you have at least like 20 mil, just keep your flips on high volume stuff, because that's what will get you the most profit. Because the biggest thing whenever you are flipping is to have as many slots running as possible. You don't want to have any empty slots okay? Because the more slots you have, the more offers you have in, the more stuff you're selling. If you end up taking a loss, you have a lot more stuff that's going to help you recover from taking that loss. So let's say I end up losing money on these air orbs. Well, I have this Addy Ore selling and I'm buying these super restores, and once they sell, it'll kind of cancel out that loss because I have other things flipping. I don't have all my cash stack invested in one thing. So that's kind of the case for high volume stuff. And I do recommend flipping high volume and some of the more expensive items at the same time, just so you're not sitting there completely bored. First one's going to be the BGS, and actually any of the God Swords are good. I would stay away from the Sarah Doman God Sword. You see that? 95.8k. That's a really good margin on the Bandos God Sword. I would stay away from the Sarah Doman God Sword for now, just because I have not had a lot of luck with it. You may have luck, but it's my own personal recommendation to stay the hell away from those. Next item, occult necklaces. Now these are one of my favorite flips. Occult necklaces, they've been going down in price first off, but they kind of keep their same return on investment. So they're one of the best return on investments I've seen. You see 28k, 202k, and let's see how much money we're putting in. We're only putting 2.45 mil in, and we're getting 202k back. Now obviously you're not going to get that full 202k back because the margin's going to change, but still that's an insane margin for how cheap it is. The next item I want you guys to take a look at is really any Barrows items. Barrows items are good. I kind of stick to Arms, Guthans, and Derricks, Derricks. I don't know which way you guys say it. I say Derricks. So Guthans is one of my favorite just because I've had the most luck with Guthans recently. I only buy the sets too. A lot of people buy pieces. I only buy the sets because that's what's worth my time. If you want to check the margin on some of the individual pieces, that's up to you. But for me, I only like doing the sets. Another good item for you guys to flip is a Dragonfire Shield. Now this one's kind of hit and miss. I usually have really good luck with the Dragonfire Shield, but overall, I wouldn't say it's like completely consistent. So you see like 58k. Every time it's above 50k, the margin on the Dragonfire Shields, I end up losing money. I think just because it's really inflated, but we'll check it out. Maybe we'll actually earn some profits here, guys, which would be sweet, but I haven't had the best luck with them. I'm only gonna flip 4 of them just so I can show you guys the next item. All right, the other item I want to show you guys is a Guardian Boots. Guardian Boots is starting to become one of my favorite flips. Damn, I remember they used to be 5 mil, now they're down to 3. That's insane. So 23k, it's usually 30 plus k. I've had some really high margins on the Guardian Boots before. So 0.77 return on investment on them, and you get 23.9k profit per flip. So we're gonna increase it just a few GP. This is what you do for the more expensive items, just so you can beat out all those people who have the offers at 30,959.80, because there are gonna be other people flipping it, trust me. So we're gonna go with 2 of them, because that's all we can afford. And we're going to try and buy them. So once I actually get them and I start to sell them, I'm gonna probably sell them for 3,119,000, 3,119,000, and take away that 900 GP, just so I can have a better off than the people that are selling them for 3,119,900. That way my offer sells first before theirs does. So that's kind of the general gist for flipping, and the biggest part is items. You have to figure out what works best for you. Make sure that they're highly traded and that they're used regularly in the game. Don't do some random ass flips. If you have any like ideas or you think that they're gonna be good flips, check them out. Like seriously, check them out. You never know. One day a flip may be terrible and the next day it may have a really insane margin on it. That's the beauty of flipping, and that's also kind of the drawback to it, is just because you had a really good flip one day does not mean it's gonna be the same way the next. And there you go, a breakdown of the simplest way of how to flip. Hopefully you have found this video extremely useful, and hopefully you can go and then apply what you've learned in this video to go flip and make some fat cash stacks here on RuneScape. Check out some of the other items that I have in my other videos. Seriously, if you're not subscribed, you should go subscribe. Check out the other content I have. It'll be extremely useful for new flippers as I showcase a bunch of items that we can flip and that you can flip. And seriously, experiment. Go figure out what works best for you whenever you're flipping. Go try out items. the best way to learn how to flip is to figure out what items flip and what items don't. And seriously, it just depends on the day. So I cannot indefinitely tell you this item's always going to be good. It all depends on the day. That's why flipping is so rough, yet that's why flipping is so fun. So once again, go check out the channel, subscribe to your boy. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know, and I may make some other guide videos. But that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars. But the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. And the dark's all that I see when your stars have burnt out. And your heart makes no sound. I'll find